Oh, okay, so I think we're good to go now. Let me just, I gotta just check the testing and all that, and then we'll get underway. Give me 1 second, guys. So one thing about live streaming, you gotta make sure like everything is good. Let's see. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm just checking out what's going on here. Like, is this streaming or is it not? I'm not sure if it's actually recording right now because it's not letting me check. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, so testing. All right, we're good to go. All right, I think we're good to go. It's just I'm using a different program today, so I just gotta make sure it's responding. All right, so testing. All right, we're good to go. All right, guys. So you had what, about 24 hours, give or take, to digest some of that information. You know, I didn't like the way the audio quality came out. I didn't realize it was coming out that way, so I had to find a new program to use. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of messed with the cadence on how I wanted to deliver that message. Like, I wish I could just take that live stream and just enhance the audio with the audio we have today. Because half of the audio is half of the battle. But maybe I'll try to incorporate what I talked about last time today. Definitely, I want to put the flat Earth and the sphere idea. You know, this ball that we live on. We don't live on a ball. We don't have people living in Asia walking sideways on the map. You know what I mean? This idea that gravity is holding us down. Gravity is also a myth. Like, that's not anything that you should be thinking is real. Anything that man, like I say when I talk about when we talk about women, anything whenever someone's trying to convince you something like really hard, they're trying so hard to convince you that something is true. Usually it's the opposite. Like, whenever someone is just in my face trying to convince me, like, oh, this is the best ever, oh, this is the greatest, oh, you should do this, I always go the other way because there's always a motive behind it. There's always a reason. It's like, why are you caring so much if I care? Because they're getting something out of it. And I really don't want to know what. But yeah, maybe we'll close this. Yeah, we will close this out because I already have the diagram written out. I know what verses to go to. You know what I mean? So we can do that at the end and put that flat Earth, the sphere idea, Earth, to bed. You know, we're gonna put that to bed, and with better audio this time. So I'm gonna make sure I get that up for us. So when the time comes, we're not spending too much time searching for a Holy Bible. Yeah, right here, Holy Bible King James Version is always the best version. So that's what we're going to do with that. But today, like always, I'm going to ask you to just keep opening up that mind of yours and stop listening to what people tell you. Just because someone tells you something doesn't mean it's true. I know you could say that about me too, but I have nothing to gain from telling you guys what I'm telling you. It's not like you guys are paying me. It's not like I know your family. It's not like I know your friends. I'm not getting any kickbacks. Hell, I'm not even a YouTube partner. Like, I chose not to do that. So you can't even say I'm doing this for the money. There is no money in telling the truth. All the truth does usually is puts you in a predicament, you know? They want us to live a lie. You think the government You think these politicians, you think Donald Trump cares about you, or you think they want transparency? You think they want you to know what's really going on? No, they don't. That's why they have us worried about the Diddy trial, right? We're still talking about Epstein when we should have had him in prison back in the 90s. You know what I mean? They dragged these things out for years. While on the side, they're making deals with Iran. Well, I shouldn't say they, I should say Israel, right? But whoa, if I say that I word, but it is real, right? It is real that Israel is making decisions for our country. Israel is starting wars all over the Middle East, and they've been doing it since the 1950s, the 1930s. We have records of this, and if you talk about it, you're called what, an anti-Semitic person. If I'm an anti-Semitic person for stating facts, I don't know what to tell you, because this is information anyone can find, but they don't want you to find it, which is why they are now in Palestine, in Gaza, bombing women and children. Not even, because the thing is, Palestine, they don't have an army there, so they're literally bombing defenseless people because they want to steal their land, and that's literally all that happened. They stole the Gaza Strip. They just completely killed anyone that was there. They said it was Hamas, but they killed all the women and children. They bombed hospitals, schools, institutions, you name it, homes, daycares, elderly care. They bombed it all, and they said Hamas was there. So Hamas is everywhere, right? That's what they're saying. That's what they hide behind. But then when you call them on it, they call you an anti-Semitic for just blatantly just saying the truth. But it is what it is. And as far as our history, like, a lot of you guys don't even know who owns the history department, the education system. If you really dig deep and you look at who owns it, you'll come to a conclusion that it is owned by the Rockefellers. Yeah, a lot of you guys know that name, right? People that listen to hip hop, you probably hear it a lot from Jay-Z, right? He strives to be like the Rockefellers. Why? He even has Rockefeller Records. Why? Because Rockefeller owns his ass. You think Jay-Z owns that record label? No, the Rockefellers do. And he hides behind that name, and they pay him the dollars. But guess what? He's bought, just like anybody else. Anyone, that's the thing. If you want to be rich and famous, it comes at a cost. Like, you don't just become rich and famous for nothing. Like, don't think that you'll just be able to just do that and just live a normal, peaceful, quiet, simple life. Your life is basically over. You're owned and bought by whomever you sold your soul to. And that's just the fact of the matter. And it's just, the thing that sucks about it is we have a nation of indoctrinated people, if you think about it, right? Because we all go to or went to some type of university, right? And when we break down the word university, it's broken down in three parts when you think about it, right? A university, right? Uni, what does uni mean? Uni means one. And then you break down the second word in the three-word part of it. And what is it? Verse. What is a verse? A verse is a script, right? We talk about scripts all the time. And what are scripts? Something that you repeat over and over and over and over and over, right? Until you memorize it, until it's embedded in your brain, right? That's what that is, guys. A university is nothing more than a script in a city. Universe city. You're in a one staged city. That's what it is. You're all in a city that is staged in different locations in the country, or sometimes in the same state. You have a bunch of universities, right? And what happens there? You all learn a curriculum, right? And guess what? Most of the curriculum, if not all of it, is the same. It doesn't matter what university you go to. Because why? The curriculum, it's all the same. So that's why people are always so cooped up with the name of the college. Oh, I went to Yale. Oh, I went to Harvard. Oh, I went here. I went to. It doesn't matter if you went to Harvard. It doesn't matter if you went to the University of Samoa online, right? It doesn't matter because you're going to learn the same thing if you're in the same field because it's all indoctrination. It's all bullshit. They're stealing your money and teaching you what they want to teach you. And it's not even based on fact. It's based on what they want. Because guess what? When you win the war or when you win the big fight, you get to tell the story. That's just the way it goes. So it's funny to me, though, that a lot of the history before 1692, a lot of it just got erased. Like it just never happened. Like all of a sudden, civilization just appeared after Christopher Columbus showed up. Oh, Christopher Columbus is here. Oh, now the world just started, guys. Yep. Now everything else, just put that to bed. Yep. Christopher Columbus, he founded it. But you got to dig deep though. What does the word founded mean? Right? Think about that. When you find something, did you actually build it? Did you actually establish it? Did you actually, plan on it? Did you actually do anything at all other than just, walk upon it? Then you got to ask yourself, if you found something, right? What did you find? How much of it did you find? And who helped you, right? There's so many questions. How far did this stretch to? How much civilization was there? And then you got to ask yourself, if there was already civilization there, how much of them did you kill? You got to ask yourself, because you're not going to tell us a story that it was just a bunch of Indians in a tribe and we walked up on them. Not every tribe is the same, guys. Not every tribe is Native American, guys. There are many of not only black, brown, Indian people that have ties to people that were living in certain places, such as the United States, dating before the 1692. And this stuff stayed in their family. So there's people out there that can attest to that. We're going to find them, guys. Because the history that they tell us that, oh, Christopher Columbus, oh, he came to America and America was built. But who built America? Because, guys, let's think about this. Like, please, just use your mind a little bit. Just a little bit. Look at all the buildings around us, guys. And look at what's being built today, like recently, as of now. What is the common theme today when we see something being built? If you said squares, rectangles, triangles, well, basic triangles, then yeah, you're correct. Because when it comes to architect and when it comes to building, as present day goes, we have regressed masterfully. Like, it is not even close how bad we have gotten architecturally when it comes to building, just buildings, just buildings, not even talking like anything else. And we're going to get into more stuff, guys. So you look back at a lot of these buildings that are standing in these big cities, there's a common theme around them. They all look virtually almost the same with the architecture and how they're built and what they look like, right? And it's in every city, and it's also around the world. You see the same type of architecture. It's almost like these tribes and people left their mark around the world. And then guess what? They got conquered and everything gets stolen. And then the person that steals everything gets to erase the history, erase you from the history, and say they made everything and everything is theirs, even though they have nothing today that can replicate that. So if you made this stuff and this is in your family and your blood, why can't you reproduce any of it? Because the Twin Towers, when those went down, why couldn't we reproduce those? Because we can't. There's just certain things we can't do. The Empire State Building, the Chrysler Tower, like none of these buildings could ever be remade again because they don't know how a lot of these things were built. Just like the pyramids, they don't know how that was built. So if you don't know how it was built, how could it have been you that made it? Or maybe you found it. You probably did find it. It probably was already there, and there were probably people there that you just killed and conquered, or sold, or made your slaves, and you took all their stuff, right? And you said, "Oh, this is mine now." Palestine's going through it right now with Israel. A lot of people don't even know the true story of what's going on there. They think that, oh, Palestine, they're a bunch of terrorists, and Hamas, like, they don't even know the real story. The Palestinians they're not even like siding with Hamas. They just want to be safe and live their lives like we do. But the Zionists, not even, I don't even want to say Israel, just the Zionists, because there are some good Israeli people, but they're the Zionists, literally in their Bible, in their version of the Bible, they believe that Jesus Christ is burning in excrement, guys. They hate Jesus Christ. They think that Mary is a whore. Like, this is in their Bible. I'm not making this up. And it's prophesied that they were supposed to steal and kill all their land and everything belongs to them. That's what Zionists believe. They believe that all of us, if we're not Zionists, we're second class to them. They believe they're the chosen people. And this is who our American government is backing. This is who America is, or who, I should say, Israel and their Zionists have in their back pockets. They have all of our politicians and president in their back pocket. Donald Trump took $230 million from Israel, right? Bibi Netanyahu, he took that money from him. So now anything Bibi Netanyahu wants, he gets. He's like, and you got to ask yourself, I thought Donald Trump was a billionaire. Why does he even need the money? And it shows you that he had no choice. Because if you're a billionaire, you don't need $230 million. But guess what? It's either you take the money or you take the money. Because if you don't, you die. They'll just make something happen to him. And he knows it. Like, literally, they make people die. They're doing it today. They're getting rid of anyone that opposes them. It just happened. They get rid of anyone in the seat that opposes any of their frigged up laws that they want to do to us. And now they got this new bill, right, going right now, where all the Republicans are voting for it, where basically anyone making over, what was it, like $10 or $30 million gets a tax break. But then guess what? I think it is 300 million people. Well, not that many. I forget the count, but it is a staggering amount of people that's going to lose their health insurance and their Medicare and their food benefits just so billionaires can get a tax break, as if they need a tax break. But the hard-working Americans that are making these billionaires money, right? They get no breaks. they get to suffer, right? That's the democracy we live in. But we don't live in a democracy. We live in a republic. Or we're supposed to anyway. Where did that go? Because in a republic, none of this is supposed to happen. But they called it a democracy all of a sudden. You see what they did? Now all of a sudden we're a democracy, but it says on our dollar bills and in our constitution that we're a republic. Which one is it? Because they're two different things. You got to understand. And also when you make that vote, your vote isn't actually picking the president. You need to do your research. Your vote is going to the what is it? The 538 voters that actually vote for the president. Because guess what? It's the Electoral College that picks the presidency. So in other words, let me put it this way. Let's just say every single American out there decided not to vote. Okay? Let's just say that. Let's just say everyone was just like, you know what? Screw this. I'm sick of it. You know, the guy I want never gets picked. And even if he does get picked, this happens, you know? So let's just say everyone just says screw it and no one goes to the polls. Guess what? The Senate and those 538 people in the Electoral College are going to pick the president whether you like it or not. And they only need 270 votes. So our votes don't mean shit. So what I'm trying to say is whether all of us vote for one person. Let's just say it was a landslide and every single person voted for Kamala Harris, right? Let's just say that just happened. The popular vote, it was whatever it was, 300 million to 0. And then the Electoral College, guess what? Donald Trump had 270 votes. The Electoral College wins. Don't you guys get it? We don't care. We don't matter at all. Our vote doesn't count for anything. Nothing at all. Like, it's all a show. They already know who's going to be president. Okay? Let me show you something, actually, now that we're on that track. Because if you don't believe me, let me show you something. Because literally our votes don't count, and I'm going to show you why it doesn't count. There has been... Whoops. So there has been, what? 47 presidents, right? If I'm not mistaken, or am I wrong? I forget. Something like that. So there's been 47 presidents, some odd, give or take. Maybe there's more or less. I don't know. I don't care. I don't care about politics. I'm just guessing. But guess what? All of those presidents, except for one, have been related. Okay? Need I say any more? Do I need to say anything more? Like, should I just end the broadcast now? Like, what more can I say after saying that? You think your vote counts, right? But guess what? Every president except for one, and I don't even remember his name, have been related by some form or fashion. Do you guys not get that? So that means Barack Obama and Joe Biden are related, and they were in office together. Do you not get that, guys? Don't you understand? Like, just like the conflict of interest, and how does that happen? How could we allow this? How did no one know this? And when you find out who figured this out, that's going to shock you even more. It's not letting me click on it. But I'm trying to show you guys. It's going to piss you off after you find out who figured this out. It wasn't someone in the government. No, it wasn't Einstein. No, it wasn't even some scientist that figured it out. But for some reason, it's not letting me click on the search. I don't know why.
Yes. To treat patients.
I don't know why it's not letting me click on the search. I don't want to go on this one because I don't want to leave the screen we're on, guys. That's why I'm not clicking on that one. I want to leave that on there because that's the subject we're really supposed to talk about. But I just got on a tangent, and that's what these lives are about. It's about getting to the truth. But for some reason, it's not letting me click on the search. There we go. Finally. All right, here we go. All the presidents are related. Yep, all the presidents are related. But guess till you see who figured it out. I didn't believe it either until I looked myself. I looked it up myself, and I did it myself. I traced the tree myself. But I'm going to save you all the legwork. But this is true, guys. I didn't believe it either. I did my own legwork. Like I said, I've had time to myself to be able to think and figure things out. So this is right here, what you're about to hear is the truth. Take a listen. If it ever starts. All right, here we go. I think. Come on. I don't know why it's not playing. Oh. Hold on, volume. I don't know why I did that. Let's go. I'm gonna restart it. Don't worry. Don't worry, guys. I'm gonna restart it.
Every single one of them are descendants of one single person. The former
This is annoying.
John
I don't. It was not running this slow before. Now all of a sudden it's just running slow. Probably because the live stream is making it run slow. But I want you guys to hear it.
This is mind blowing. A seventh. spent her summer building a presidential family tree, and she discovered that every single United States president, with the exception of one, were all related. And all of them, every single one of them, are descendants of one single person, the former King of England, John Lackland, who signed the Magna Carta in 1215. Nobody had put this together before because most genealogists only focused on the male side of the family. But she went ahead and put together the male and female lineage of every single president and discovered that every one of them are related, except for Martin Van Buren. This is something that definitely makes you look at the big picture a little bit differently. Check this out.
George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, William Howard Taft, and President Barack Obama. One young girl traced them all back to one common ancestor.
They're all cousins and old grandsons of John Lackland.
It's the first family tree of its kind, pouring through more than 500,000 names for months. 12-year-old Bridge Ann d'Avignon discovered that all the U.S. presidents, except Martin Van Buren, are related to the former King of England, John Lackland Plantagenet.
Mildred Reed is his first great-grandmother on George Washington. Obama, Mildred Reed is the 10th great-grandmother.
She started with George Washington, but unlike other professional genealogists that only looked at the male family lines, Bridge Ann was able to link the presidents together using both male and female ancestry. Before this, historians had only been able to link 22 family trees.
That's crazy, guys. That's insane. So your vote really doesn't matter. And, like, you really just gotta, like, know that and stop putting so much energy into any politics at all. It's all BS. It's all about the money. It's about who's giving it, who's taking it, right? Firstly. And then it's about control, right? And it's about taking over. That's really all it is. And it's happening today. Like, we're not safe in America. Now we're going after Iran, even though that's probably not even real. Like, all of it's probably trying to just get us all scared and cooped up in our homes, right? But who knows, guys? Who knows? We could eventually see some bad shit happen on American soil. But let's take a look at some of this lost civilization stuff, guys, because it's important that history gets told, and it gets told the truth, not what some billionaire wants you to believe so he can have control over you in one world order. No, the truth should always uphold. So let's take a look at some of these.
They've been hiding the true answer to this question from us. Why are these doors and windows halfway in the ground? During the early 19th century, strange events were reported worldwide. Cities were being dug out from layers of mud and debris. Buildings were being revealed that were covered to their rooftops in mud. A global cataclysmic event buried entire civilizations, erasing them from history. But here is where it gets rather unsettling. The Tartarian Empire, an empire often depicted in old maps, was an advanced civilization that existed across Europe and Asia. They built architectural marvels, had access to advanced technology, and were able to harness energy from the atmos. The mud flood, many say, was a deliberate attempt to wipe out Tartaria from history, hiding their advanced technology and knowledge. But it gets even darker. Look at the world's fairs of the late 1800s and early 1900s. These elaborate buildings, resembling ancient architecture, were supposedly built in just a few years. After the fairs, they were supposedly demolished. Was this to erase evidence of an advanced pre-existing civilization? The Chicago World Fair in 1893, the Paris Exposition in 1900, and the St. Louis World Fair in 1904. These events showcased magnificent architecture and On official papers, they were apparently built with plaster and wood. Do these look like temporary structures to you? The sudden disappearance of these architectural marvels raises the question, were they remnants of the Tartarian Empire, conveniently disguised as temporary exhibits and then destroyed to hide their origins?
Alright, now let's look at this other one. So there's a lot of theories that mud floods destroy, because there has been resets that happened, and there's a lot of proof of that. We have pasteurized giants in mountains that have their skull shape just still dead, living there and just laying there. So we know giants existed. We have their bones to show for it, and we use Himalayan salt from them. So that comes from dead giants. So that when you're eating Himalayan salt, you're eating giants, just so you know. A lot of people don't know that. But anyway, let's look at this video right here. Sometimes they run a little slow. I don't know. It wasn't running this slow yesterday. For the next stream, I'll try to get this cleaned up. I gotta see what's going on. So they're saying the video camera, the thing about this, because they're saying the video camera wasn't in existence, right? But how do we have all this film then back then? So the point is, a lot of inventions have always been there, but people just keep stealing the invention and saying it's them that made it. Like all history, like 400 years pass and a new person says, nope, this is me. Because we've had cameras since the beginning of time. Like it says in the Bible, there's nothing new under the sun. There just isn't. And I want to find that other video for you guys to show you, because we were talking about there was free energy back then, because there was. Let me find that for you. And while this guy's talking right here, I'm going to find another video for you to show you that they had a levitation system. They had cars, free energy gliding. Alright? So there's a lot of stuff. There have been so many men that have had this theory thought out, and they just kill them.
So Tartaria is history that has been suppressed from our history books. That's the best way to describe it. In my opinion, there was an ancient civilization or ancient species, whichever one you want to call it, which basically built the same type of structures all over the entire world. Right? Whether that being in Japan, that being in Asia, that being in Russia, that being in Europe, South America, Africa, Mexico, United States, every single place has the exact same infrastructure. And, you know, that relates into this whole Tartarian history, because when you look at these buildings, you see like these, you know, they call them like Greco-Roman buildings or whatever else. You see this structure or this infrastructure everywhere, right? Every part of the world. And you sit there and wonder, well, if people were building like that all over the world, maybe they were also very united and connected, right? And we have a lot of disconnect going on with our history right now. You know, they just make up our history and say whatever they feel. You know, they give us the narrative of the traditional horses and wagons, right? Everybody was on horses and wagons, and they supposedly built all these beautiful structures. And when you look at the detail of these structures and how, you know, just the curvature.
That's what I was talking about.
It's like etched, right? It almost looks like someone just drew into these buildings.
They had lasers.
You know, you start to think like, how were they on a horse and a wagon? They didn't have, for example, let's say maybe a crane, or they didn't have these tools, or whatever it may be. They didn't even have electricity, supposedly.
They had levitation systems.
So you start to look at that and go, but they were building buildings that were like 10 stories high, that looked like castles. Right? So when you get into Tartaria history and you start to look at all this, you see a lot of these buildings have been hijacked by basically a parasitic entity, in my opinion. So you'll see buildings like, you know, maybe a mental institution, a hotel, you know, a school, right? It might be a university, and they usually attach some funny story like, oh, this started in 1902, and, you know, they always give you this date, right? 1903, whatever. But the building was there before that. And that's when you get into this whole Tartarian history, is a lot of this Tartaria itself was on the map, right? When you go to look at these old maps,
I'm going to show you this video, and I'm going to show you another one where this guy proves where they blatantly lie about buildings being founded, and they can't even, like, tell you about what materials and how much was bought, what was the cost, none of it. I might have to do some digging, but when I saw that one, that's when I was like, all right, literally everything's a lie. Well, not that wasn't the moment, because there's been so many things where I was like, wow, our life is a lie, but that was just so telling. But let me do this. Is it all one? It looks like it's all one the way he has it. Whoops. Looks like his username is all one thing. But this guy, yeah, this video he has, it's insane. No, this isn't him. Or maybe it is him. Oh, it is. Yeah, that is him. Alright, now. So this is the guy. Now I gotta find that video for you guys where it shows the levitation system. I'm surprised he didn't keep that as a pinned video, because that was some seriously crazy stuff, guys. But we're gonna find this. And we're going to find this together. I'm looking on my phone too, because my phone might be faster. Let's see. He does so many videos. But apparently this guy, he's got bloodlines to this Tartarian civilization. So he tells as much as he's able to, because I'm sure he doesn't want to be killed, you know. Because there's only so much truth that you're really allowed to tell. And once they see people are starting to believe you, that's when it starts to get scary, you know, and people might come up missing. So he does share as much as he can know, and it's very insightful. I'm trying to find this video, but I might have to think of a different strategy. Oh, what? Where is it? Huh? Where's that video at? You can't lie to us about the world and teach us. It's right there. Alright, Damien, I am Damien. You can't lie to us about the world. But, like, where is this video, though? I'm literally seeing it on my phone, but it's not appearing over here. That's the only thing I don't like about TikTok. It's like when you're trying to find a video again, it's like almost virtually impossible. Oh, you know what? There's another way I can do it. I'll unlike it, and then I'll like it again, so then it'll be at the top of my liked videos. That's what we'll do, and then I'll try to find that other one for you guys, and then I'll like it and unlike it, so it's at the top again. Alright. Hopefully it actually saved it. Sometimes. Yep, here it is, here it is, here it is. Here it is, guys.
Do you remember when we were wondering what these things were for in Russia? Well, take a look. Magnetic levitation, maglev. This past
What the hell's going on? Oh. Hold on 1 second, guys. This is really annoying.
The world, buried underneath mud and asphalt.
Now we're gonna go back a little. This is not cooperating.
Harness.
Hold on, I'm backing up.
Levitation. Maglev. This past civilization knew how to harness the energy of Earth. These magnetic ironclad roadways were laid out all over the world, buried underneath mud.
You hear that, guys?
Ionosphere.
That stuff was laid out all over the world. So that means that stuff is still in the ground. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to pause this.
Referred to as the Flying Yankee philosophy.
So
All
it's
of
not
it was
pausing.
hidden from our civilization. Hidden within these gas-powered
So that stuff was laid out all over the world, guys. Literally. Do you see this stuff? It's still in the ground right now. They paved over it.
the time.
All that pavement is just covering it.
Levitation. So, here we go. Us to this video, and these being used.
It's insane. It's covered all over the world. We still have this stuff everywhere, but it's covered by pavement.
Harness the energy of Earth. These magnetic ironclad roadways were laid out all over the world, buried underneath mud and asphalt. Ionosphere, monowheel, built specifically for this magnetic levitation. In the 1869, unicycle was referred to as the Flying Yankee philosophy. All of it was hidden from our civilization. Hidden within these gas-powered exhibitions was the true technology. You just can't fool all of the people all of the time. Magnetic levitation. So, in regards to this video, and these being used for maglev, magnetic levitation, I was right. You were right too, if you guessed magnetic levitation. Also, I made a mistake, I think. We were under the impression that just because the asphalt was over it, that, no. This still worked with the asphalt over it. This still worked with it over it. It's just, we don't have those machines, so that would still work. But even if this is magnetic and that's what we were using it for, let's be honest. That means this is connected to a source or something, a charge that turns and spins. How else is this magnetized? Unless all through the city is a bunch of these discs, and all these discs are magnetic. So I need somebody in Russia to go, see if they're magnetic. Please, I appreciate that. So when we said maglev roads, we was definitely on the right track. I think we're starting to wake up, and it's a beautiful thing. You can't lie to us about the old world, and all the old tech is still there. But as y'all know, when the mind's blind, eyes can't see.
So that's just the beginning, guys. Like, we have access to free energy. Like, it says it in the Bible. God gave us everything for us to use. That includes food, water, air, energy, all of that. Like, none of that. We're not supposed to be paying for any of that. Man made us pay for all that. Man is the one that is, making it harder for everyone. That's who it is. It's not God. God laid it all out for us. It's man who turns wicked and makes everything just uninhabitable. That's basically the best way to put it. It becomes inhabitable. And it's just, you can't really hide it anymore. Right now I'm trying to find this other video to show you guys how corrupt we really are. It's gonna probably take a while. So while I'm looking for that, let's talk about another topic while I'm looking for this. It's actually, there's a, how do I put this? There is a drug out there that people are using, and it's slowly making its way to the U.S. It's killing people in large amounts in Africa and Europe, and people are starting to get it over here. It's called Kush, and it's not what you're thinking. I know what a lot of you are thinking. Oh, I smoke Kush all the time. No, it's not. It's not marijuana at all. It's not. It is. I don't know how to put this, guys, but this drug is made with human bones. Okay, so a lot of funeral homes are selling corpses, right? For obviously for the organs. There's a black market for organs and for the bones, because there's dealers that want these bones, and there's been drug busts that they're keeping quiet, guys. All right, and they're selling these bones in quantities to get them grounded up so they can get the whatever they need, the Kush, you know, because apparently in our bones there's some type of fragment in it that can make you really high. And people, I don't know who did this to find this out, because you had to have tried this out first before you just, you know what I mean, full on did it. So it just makes you wonder, like, who initiated such things? Like, why would you even want to even try that? Like, how, like, did that even happen, you know? So I'm trying to find I want you guys to see that video, because you're not gonna believe it. They're selling drugs in gas station. No, it's not that one. Apparently this guy used to work at a, what do you call it, a cemetery, a graveyard, and he used to tell us, or he used to see some shit. Let me see, where is it? Oh, here it is, guys, here it is. Watch this. You won't believe this. Just watch this. And I'm still looking for another crazy video.
Even after a week, I have people still writing me about this. They're writing me about Kush, which is the drug made out of human bones. Now, let me say this video is for entertainment and educational purposes. I got to do that where the video won't get taken down. If you look in this, there is a war on this drug. And I know that when you hear Kush, you automatically think of, you already know, what you roll up in a Swisher or Dutch or whatever you use. This ain't that. This is a new kind of Kush. This is what they named it over there. And it is made of human bones. And they are having a problem. People are robbing graves. They're digging people up. They're grinding the bones down and they're smoking them. I know this seems so far-fetched, but it's true. And now it's here. It's already happened in Minnesota. Now the news will tell you that people were simply just grave robbing. They won't tell you why. People, this could be the next drug crisis in America. We need to be alert. We need to be aware of what's going on. We have to protect ourselves. Like I tell you all the time, you have to investigate everything. CNN, Fox News, ABC News, they're too busy reporting on politics. They're not going to tell you what's coming. Because honestly, they don't get ratings off telling you things like this. Because a lot of people don't even care. I pray you'll look into it. I pray you'll look at this, read, post, and engage. Tell me your thoughts. If you're in Africa or Sierra Leone, tell us about your experience over there. Tell us about what's happening. We want to hear it. Have a good day.
Well, this guy's the real deal, guys. Like he's just spilling all the beans about what goes on in cemeteries. He's also saying that we're eating it, and a lot of these fast food restaurants are using Soylent Green is human meat, guys. Like people eat Soylent Green and love that stuff, but that's human meat, and the government allows it. It's crazy. I don't. It's the stuff that's allowed is just insane. Hold on, guys. This just went somewhere else. Where the hell did it just go? I'm still looking for another video on this side here, but I want you guys to understand we live in a cruel, effed up world. Alright? Now he's saying that he might not be around long. Let's see. Oh, watch this video.
"70 days ago, a lot of y'all met me in this video right here, where I told you that I was a gravedigger, and I told you how the casket that I was lowering was empty. Now, the reason why I made that video is because it become a pattern. Also, a couple months before that, I found out that some of the cremations that was being given out was concrete in Austin, Texas. At first, people said I was crazy, and then an arrest was made, and people started to believe me. I'm going to tell you something, y'all. A lot of these funeral homes ain't burying people, and I still stand on that. They are selling organs. And I know that you're about to say that, well, they can't sell dead organs. They are. And they're getting away with it. You think you're getting ashes, and you're getting fake ashes from Etsy, Amazon. They sell them everywhere. The whole thing that they're doing where they're crying and they're acting like they have emotions, that's what they're programmed to do. They've been doing it for so long that they can fake it really good. They don't care about you or your family. I encourage you to really look into who you get to bury them. Because from somebody with experience, they might not be buried. I know that this sounds wild, and it sounds like something that's hard to believe. But greed is taking over our country. And these funeral homes, the cemeteries, they've gotten in on it. They want a piece of the pie. I pray you'll follow me on this page. I got a lot of evidence of this and other stuff too. I want to continue to do this to expose these funeral homes. Over the next week, I'm going to be giving examples of funeral homes that's got busted in the last 6 months. And there's tons of them. I pray that none of you have to go through this, but I want to make you aware, just in case you do. That way you can really pay attention. Have a blessed day.
All right. Now,
70 days ago, a lot of y'all met me in this video right here,
I think I found
where I told you that I was a gravedigger.
I think I found it. Oh, wait, no, this is something else. Hold on. Oh, I want you guys to see this because he literally lays it down. Like everything. He just proves to you that everything was just a lie. That was just made up. Like, I had my mind blown when he did this, but this was so long ago. Like, when I saw this was like months ago. So really, this video, it literally could be anywhere. He should have pinned, it should be a pinned video on his thing, but it's not. And I really don't know why. And I feel like I'm going to be forced to show you something else of his. That's, I don't want to say it's similar. Well, it is similar, but not as detailed. Because he literally just lays it down on how they just completely lied about what the materials are, where they came from, just literally everything. You could just tell it was just a complete whack job, complete jerk off. So maybe I'll find that for next video for you guys, because I don't want to spend too much time looking for it, but I do think you guys should see it. So I think I'm gonna close this out with going over what we live on, because the last video, it just, the audio, you know, everything was just not the way I wanted it to be. So let's get right to that part. It's already drawn out from last time, so it shouldn't take long at all. So let's see here. So first we're gonna go with Isaiah 40:22 to pop it off. Isaiah 40:22 will pop this off for us. And then tomorrow we'll do a breakdown of what is it, Temptation Island for my Rumble people. So we'll try to do it, we'll alternate each day, and we'll go that way until I'm back to work, and then we'll do it when I'm able to. But I'm looking for, oh yeah, Isaiah. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. So we got Isaiah 20, or excuse me, Isaiah 40. Excuse me, guys. My mind is on 20 different things. Isaiah 40:22, if I'm not mistaken. And send it away. And you saw that last verse, it said, heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall never pass, because he's going to make a new heaven and a new earth. There's many verses that tell us that he's going to burn this all up. That's why I don't care about anything that I have, because I don't really own it. Because guess what? When I die, I don't even own my own body. Like, the most important thing you have is your soul. Like, if you screw that up, you're just screwed. Because you don't know when you're going to die, and when you die, that's it for your body. So you want to live forever, though. Your soul, right? So there's a way to do that. But anyway, it says, so this is from God's vantage point. It says, it is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth. So the earth is a circle, guys. It's not a sphere. It's not what they tell you in science. You know, we don't have people walking sideways on the globe. You're not down in Antarctica and walking upside down on the globe. No, none of it makes sense. This gravity idea. No, water needs a containment. Water needs to be contained just like this. Water needs borders to hold it in place. Otherwise, our seas would overflow elsewhere. Just like none of it makes sense. And it says space is a vacuum. If it's a vacuum, then it would suck all the oxygen we have out. But, oh yeah, we have a firmament, right? So that knocks out the gravity idea. That knocks out the vacuum idea. There is no outer space, guys. Like, it doesn't say anything about outer space anywhere but in science, which was made by man. And man was created by, you know who, exactly. So how could something that was created by something else know what was before that? It just doesn't make sense. So he sitteth upon the circle of the earth, right? And the inhabitants, which is us, right? And the animals, people living on earth, thereof are as grasshoppers. So we're on these planes, and he's even talking about the sea animals, everything, because he created the sea animals, the beasts of the sea. He calls it the beasts of the earth. He called it bugs, everything, humans, everything. He was created by him, and all of us are just grasshoppers to him. In other words, he could crush us like we're nothing at all. We're just tiny little ants walking around. And then it says that stretch out the heavens as a curtain and spreadeth them out as a tent to think in. Right? So it basically, it's covering the entire earth. So that's that. So we live on a circle, not a sphere. Nope. Sorry to break it to you, for you global people. And I mean, it's not flat either. It's a circle. We live on a circle. And I'm going to go even further than that. So that's one way to this. That's from God's vantage point. That's how he sees it, looking down on us. Now, let's go show you the 4 squares in that circle. How could there be a square in a circle? I'm going to show you how. Revelation 7:1. Let's get right to it. After these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth. You know what that means? North, east, south, west. That's the 4 corners of the earth. It makes a square if you line it up and bring it back. You feel me? It makes a square. So, nor sea nor tree, or that the wind should not blow the earth, nor the sea, nor the tree. So it keeps it all in balance. That's basically what it's saying. So the wind, so nothing can go anywhere. It's basically trapped in that vicinity. It's basically what it's saying. All right. Now we're going to see what we live on and why we can't go to outer space. Outer space, right? So they say. And we're going to use Genesis 1 and I believe 6, if I'm not mistaken. Genesis 1:6. And God said, let there, excuse me. And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. Right? So there's a division between the waters and the waters. Right? It's the firmament. And God made the firmament and let it divide the waters which were under the firmament. So this is the water under the firmament. Right? And then the waters that are above, or which were above the firmament. And so it was. So there's water above us, which is the sky, which is why it rains, snows, hails, all that, depending on what God decides. And then there's water below us, where the outer space, the real outer space is, and where all the sea beasts are of the earth. And once again, like I said last video, we haven't even discovered even 15% of the sea. That's how much sea we have, guys. That's how vast this firmament is. That's how vast everything inside this firmament is. We're worried about going to Mars, and we haven't even discovered Mars. When I say Mars, I'm doing that in quotations. It's all to discard and to like put everything aside. We haven't even discovered our own planet. Why are we going to discover anywhere else? It just doesn't make sense. You want to fully master where you live before you start going anywhere else, wouldn't you think first? So you got to just think about that. We don't even have our Earth figured out yet. We don't even know anything. We know 20% of our Earth at most. So, like, how could we have answers for anything? How could we think we have all the answers? We don't. We don't know anything. Like it says in the Bible, there's nothing new under the sun. Let's say, And God made the firmament. No, we did that. And God called the firmament heaven, and in the evening and in the morning were the second day. So there it is, guys. That's what we live on. And you want to say, oh, so where does the firmament end? That's where this border is, guys. It's a firmament. It goes around all of us. It's like almost like a dome. It's an invisible but extremely forceful and powerful dome. All right? So it's a dome that covers the entirety of our Earth. It just covers us. So you can't get in, you can't get out without God's permission. That's just the way it goes. That's why when Elon Musk's shooting rockets, or anytime anyone shoots a rocket, it hits the firmament and it explodes. No man has gone to the moon. They staged it in Canada. We proved that yesterday. I mean, I could show that video again, but I think everyone got the gist. The the Mars trip they took, right? And the Mars and the moon trip they took was in Canada, guys. Like, that's it. So we can't do any of the things they say they're doing. All they're doing is taking our money. That's it. Because think of all the money NASA makes. NASA gets billions of dollars, guys. So where does that money really going? Because they're not going to the moon. They're not actually going anywhere. So where is our money going? Where is it being used on? Where are those billions of dollars going? Because it's not for a rocket to the moon. And we see your bases on Google Earth just sitting in Canada, looking exactly like the pictures you sent us, with the screen being contrasted up or down to get your desired picture color, right? So it's just, why can't we get any pictures from the moon to Earth and see it in rotation? You couldn't just keep a camera there for 24 hours to prove that our so-called sphere does a full 24-hour rotation? You can't prove that now, can you? No. Yeah, you can't. We're only able to see one side of the moon always. So if we were spinning, wouldn't we eventually see the other side of the moon? We wouldn't only see one side of the moon unless the moon was the one going around us, right? And always getting the reflection of the sun, because the sun and the moon are opposite each other. So as they're turning this way, opposite each other, the light of the moon stays lit on the same side because it's not in rotation. It's just moving. So that explains that. Because eventually we'd see the other side of the moon. If we're both in rotation, it wouldn't always be always the same. Like, no. So, like, none of that even makes sense. It's all in rotation. All those planets and stars we see, because God said He created the planets and the stars. But the thing is, they're not as far as scientists say they are. It's just that our firmament is that big and vast. So it looks like things are that far, but it's far, but it's not as far as they say. It's just that our firmament is humongous, and these planets and stars are moving in rotation. Well, the planets do anyway. Like the moon and the sun, those move around, and some of the other planets do too. But as far as us being a globe moving around, no, we're not a star. Like, all those planets are stars, guys. That's what you gotta understand. They're not planets. They're stars. That's what God labels them as. They're stars. Nothing more, nothing less. No one's living on them. We're not even, like, people think that, oh, what we live on looks just like what we see up there. No, we don't live on a globe. Those are stars. That's what you gotta understand. What you see up there are stars. It's not a livable habitat like what we live on. What we live on is something different. It would be cool to be able to be on one of those stars and being able to look down. You know what I mean? And you know how I know those stars are in the firmament? Because it says the water is above the firmament. How would those stars sit? I mean, I guess they could sit in water, but it just doesn't seem like that would make sense. So that's the best way I could put it. I would say that I wouldn't trust science or history, because they all have a motive and they all have something to gain from you. I got nothing to gain from you. I'm trying to get to the bottom of everything just like you are. But I think we're going to leave it off here, guys. Went over a little more than an hour. Next time, we'll go where the wind blows, and we'll see where everything takes us. But, yeah, we don't live on a sphere, and we don't live on a completely flat earth. We live on ridges and valleys and different textures and different levels. Plains. We live on all different types of land masses, but it's not flat, that's for sure, and it's not a globe. So it's just Earth. We live on Earth.